Hi, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Clark here, and I'm excited because today we're going to do some nonfiction reading together. We have been learning for the last few weeks about oceans and animals that live in the ocean. And today we are going to read a nonfiction article all about sea turtles. It's called Super Sea Turtles. You might have this magazine with you if you went to school and picked up a packet. If you do, please go get it. I'd like you to have it on your lap. If you don't, that's okay because I'm going to share my screen with you and you can follow along with me on the screen. I think most of us will be doing it that way. You also probably have this recording sheet. If you don't have it with you, go grab it. And if you don't have it, just go grab a piece of paper and a pencil or something to write with because we're going to use, we're going to stop and think together and we'll take some notes about what we learn. Okay, before we read the article though, I'm really excited because I want to tell you something. We have been learning about long vowel patterns in phonics. And I want to remind you that the reason that we work so hard with phonics and we learn how to sound words out and we know how to write words is so that we are stronger with reading and writing. And this week, we learned about a new long vowel pattern. We know about lazy E now, and we know that if we see a lazy E at the end of the word, the vowel will say its name. This week, we also learned about what to do when we have two vowels that are walking next to each other. We've been working with E, E, and we're going to see some EE words in our article today. And so I want to point this out to you. You are also going to see some words that have an E and an A walking next to each other. Remember, when two vowels go walking, the first one does the talking. So remember that if we see an E and an A next to each other as well, we will say E because E is the first vowel. I wanted to tell you that right away because we always want to be able to apply what we're learning in phonics to reading. So I'm excited to help you practice applying that new phonics pattern. All right, so boys and girls, today when we're reading our article, our job is to learn true facts about what a sea turtle does all day long. So we'll record what we learn about this interesting ocean animal. I'm going to share my screen with you so that you can see this very clearly up on your screen. And then if you don't have this, like I said, you can just read along with me. Okay, I'm going to close it. If you have your copy, close yours so that you can see the front of this nonfiction magazine, okay? You can see a real life photograph of a sea turtle. And then there's a thinking bubble. If you can read this with me, please join in and let's see what this thinking bubble says. It says, what do I do all day in the sea? Come on in and follow me. And then you will see the title at the bottom. This time the title is at the bottom of this article. Please find it with your eyes or with your fingers and read this title with me. Get ready. Super Sea Turtle. But wait, before we go inside, look. Do you see this EA? Hey, that's how Mrs. Clark knew to say E. There were two vowels next to each other. When two vowels go walking, the first one does the talking. Before we read each section, we'll notice if there are some words with that pattern, and we'll sound them out together. All right, go ahead and open your magazine if you have it with you. If you don't, look at the inside with mine. I'm going to get my brain ready to read, and the way that I do that is by looking at the photographs first and thinking about what I see. So let's take a moment and look at the photographs together. Remember that we're going to find out what a sea turtle does all day when he's swimming in the ocean. So let's look at the photographs to see. Here, oh look, I'm thinking about this. Right now I see that the sea turtle has his head coming up out of the water. And I'm thinking about what he might be doing. Are you thinking about that? Take a moment and tell yourself what you're thinking. What may he be doing? When we read, we'll find out. Let's come down here and look at this photograph. Do you see my arrow pointing? This is a sea sponge. And I see a sea turtle on top of that. I'm looking really closely at his eyes. Can you see his eyes? They do not look wide open. That gives me an idea about what he might be doing there. Now, this is interesting to me. I see all of these little fish here where my arrow is pointing. I can't wait to read that part and find out what those fish are doing with this sea turtle. And then look down here at this green section. I see that sea turtle doing something with its mouth. I think I know what he's doing, but when we read, we'll find out for sure. And then let's look up here at this last section. I see some flippers. I know these are flippers because there's a label. The label helps me know what's in the photograph, and I see a label. And I'm wondering what he's doing with his flippers up high. All right, we're gonna get started and we're going to read together. Remember that our job today is to learn true facts about what a sea turtle does when he's swimming all day long. So get your note taker near you. We're gonna stop and pause. In the classroom, we turn and talk to one another to check our understanding. But since we're not here together, we'll stop and you'll write down and draw what you learned so that you can check your own understanding and record some information. All right, boys and girls, now I remember that if we're reading a nonfiction article, sometimes there are certain pictures or photographs or sections that we're extra interested in. If the article goes in order, when there are arrows or numbers, then we have to start at the beginning. If not, readers often will start with the most interesting section. That's one interesting thing to remember about nonfiction reading. And so boys and girls, will you join me in looking at this yellow section? I was really curious about all these fish that are near the sea turtle. Before we read it, I want you to look with me at the words. There are a few places where we will see two vowels walking next to one another. Oh, here. Do you see the E and the A right next to each other? Let's sound that word out together so we're ready. Get ready. S-E-C. You guys, look at that. We can read that new word because we know that new phonics pattern. There's another word right here that has the C. Do you see where my arrow is pointing? Two vowels are walking. See that? E and an A. So they will say what sound there? E. E. Yeah, they'll say their name. So let's sound this word out together. Get ready. K-O-E-N. Clean. Ooh, okay, I have an idea now. Let's read these sentences the fast way, and now we know what these two long E words are. Put your eyes with me on to the beginning of the sentence. If you have your own magazine article, please point with your own finger at the words on your magazine. All right, let's read together. Get ready. Slow down, sea turtle. These little fish will clean you up. Tickle, tickle. Oh, I now know. Look at the photograph and notice what they're doing with their mouth. The words told us they were cleaning him. Let's read this caption. Anytime we see a caption in a photograph, it teaches us a little bit more about the photograph. So look up here, the words are small. If you cannot see them, listen while I read. Tang fish eat tiny plants that grow on the turtle's shell and body. Oh, now I know how those fish are cleaning the sea turtle. Interesting. Stop right now. Pause the video, please. And will you record? You may draw or write, but record in this box what those fish are doing with the sea turtle. What is happening when he's swimming in the ocean? Take a moment to draw and write what you learned from that section. And then push play when you're ready. Okay, welcome back. All right, let's look at another section to learn more about what sea turtles do during the day. Boys and girls, will you come with me, please, and look at this section. When we were previewing, we were thinking about how the sea turtle's head was up out of the water. So let's read to find out what he's doing here, okay? Please put your eyes on the first word where my arrow is pointing, and let's read together. Get ready. It is time to come up for air. Take look at this word, deep breath. Ah. Oh, look at the photograph. Now I know that the sea turtle cannot breathe under the water. He has to come up for air. Pretend you're coming up for air and take a deep breath. Maybe he will go back down. Oh, interesting. Tell yourself what he's doing again in that section. We'll record in a moment. Let's go on to the next section, and then you can record which interesting fact was most interesting to you in these two. All right, boys and girls, come over to the purple section, please. All right, let's look at that photograph. Remember, there's a label here, and the label says flippers. Here's one flipper. Point to the other flipper. Do you think you know what he's doing with those flippers? I think I do too. Boys and girls, come down to the beginning of this sentence and let's read together. Remember, we know this word now. We've sounded it out. All right, read with me. Get ready. Hello, sea turtle. Let's swim in the sea. Flap those flippers. Do that with me. Okay, tell yourself, what is he doing there? Tell me now. Yeah, he's swimming. And what is he using to swim? Yeah, he's using his flippers. All right, in the classroom, we would stop every now and again when we were reading and we would talk about what we learned. We just read two sections. We read this blue section and this purple section. We can't talk right now together, but we're gonna stop and I want you to think about which was the most interesting thing to you in these two sections. What does a sea turtle do when he's swimming all day? You just learned two things that he can do. So think about which one you'd like to record in your next section. You might draw, you might write, but take a moment, pause this video, and if somebody is watching this with you, you can tell them what you learned from the blue and the purple section about what the sea turtle's doing. Take a moment to draw and write, and then push play when you're ready. All right, boys and girls, let's come down to this orange section now. Now, we saw this big sea sponge in the photograph, and maybe in your class this week, you've learned about sea sponges. That's an interesting thing that we might find in the ocean. Let's read to see what he's doing. And remember, the photographs in nonfiction articles can help us. I noticed that his eyes are kind of closed. It gives me an idea about what I think this sea turtle is doing, but let's read and find out for sure. Before we do though, please find this word with your eyes that Mrs. Clark's arrow is circling. Notice the E-E. That's long vowels. That's a long vowel sound. Remember, when two vowels go walking, the first one does the talking. So sound this word out with me. Get ready. Eat, sweet. Hey, we can read that. Sweet what? Here's two vowels talking again. Two vowels walking together, I mean. Let's sound this word out. Get ready. Dreams. Sweet dreams. Let's read this whole section to find out for sure what he's doing. Get your eyes on the word now and let's read together. Get ready. Now let's rest. A sea sponge makes a good bed. Sweet dreams. Now I know for sure. I wondered if he was resting or sleeping because his eyes were closed and his body was still in the photograph. Take a moment to record what else a sea turtle does during the day. Remember, our job is to learn true facts about what a sea turtle does all day long. So we learned a few things. Pause the video and record, draw or write what you learned from that section, and then push play when you're ready. All right, boys and girls, we're going to come back and finish up our reading with this green section. I'm noticing the sea turtle. I see sand in the photograph. Do you see that? Get your eyes on it. What else do you see in the sand? The photograph gives us some information. Did you say grass? Yeah, it looks like he might be doing something with his mouth. I have an idea, but let's read to find out for sure. You know this word well, word are. Please get your eyes on it and let's read together. Get ready. Are you hungry? Dive down. Eat some seagrass. Munch, munch. Boys and girls, stop and tell yourself what that turtle is doing with the seagrass. I wondered if that's what he was doing. All right, take a moment now to pause the video, and you have one more box in your note taker. Remind yourself what he's doing and draw or write to show what we learned that he does all day in the sea. What did we learn in that section? Yeah, he's eating grass. Great. Take a minute. Okay, push play when you're ready. Boys and girls, I'm going to read this last section to you. This just gives us a little bit more information about a sea turtle. If you can read with me, please do, or you may listen. A sea turtle's shell. So this little extra information is going to teach us about his shell. I see the shell there, and I already am noticing how large it is. Let's read about it. Get ready. Most sea turtles have a hard shell. Point to the shell. How do you think it helps keep the sea turtle safe? Oh, tell yourself what you're thinking. Tell someone next to you if there's someone around you. We had an animal in our classroom that also had a hard shell, and it kept that animal safe. That will help you understand the sea turtle shell. Tell someone what you're thinking. Okay. All right, boys and girls, at the bottom of your note taker, there's some extra writing that you might want to do after the video. It says, if you could swim with a sea turtle, what would be your favorite thing to do? Take a moment to remind yourself. You have the notes that you drew and wrote, and you also have the photographs and words here. What was the most interesting part to you? If you could go and swim with a sea turtle, would you most think it would be fun to come up and get air? Do you think it would be most fun to do this? Would you like to find that spot to rest or eat? Or maybe swim? Or maybe you think it would be fun to have little fish eating off of your back and tickling you. Tell someone what you think would be the most fun. What would be your favorite, or what was the most interesting fact to you? And then you can write and draw. Your teachers would love to see a photograph of your thinking. If you would like to, you can send your teacher a picture of that. All right, boys and girls, today we read a nonfiction article about sea turtles. Tell somebody in your house what you learned about this interesting animal. All right, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for working hard. Bye. All right, see you guys later.